In this video, we're going to show you how to take your footage from this to this. Hi everyone, I'm Matt Spade, and in this video, we're going to take a look at doing a very simple color match on footage shot with two different cameras. On this particular shot, I brought in a friend of mine as a second cameraman. I was using the Production 4K, Jim was using the Sony A7 III. In putting the footage together, we want to match the color. There are several ways that you can do this, and there's a lot of complicated ways that you can do it. I'm not saying that those complicated ways are wrong, but we're going to look at a very simple way to do this that doesn't involve LUTS, that doesn't involve color space transform, that doesn't involve anything other than basic color wheel adjustments and exposure adjustments. So if you're not using Resolve, you can do this in Premiere, you can do this in Final Cut, and let's take a look at the footage. This is the footage from the Blackmagic Production Camera. This is the footage from the Sony. With my vector scope on, I'm going to go to offset, and I'm going to try to take the colors in the center, to push everything center. I'm going to do the same with the Sony footage. Now I'm going to switch over to the waveform, and on the Blackmagic, I'm going to do a little bit of adjustments here with the shadows. So I drop the shadows down, raise the midtones. We're going to really raise up the highlights on this. Pull the shadows back down again. Pull the midtones back down again. Now, with the exposure, I'm a little closer. Now what I have to do is adjust for the color. And the exposure isn't 100% there, but we're going to get there eventually. So I'm going to take some of the yellow out of here. I'm going to use that blue. That's a little too much. Lift. A little bit of blue in the gamma. I want to add some saturation to the Blackmagic because that is in ProRes. I'm getting much closer now with the colors. It's not perfect, but I'm looking at the blue in his jacket. I'm also looking at, it's not a true white, but the background, not the mosaic obviously, but the wall. And what I can do is go into some of the curves here. I'm going to go into hue versus saturation. And let me bring down a little bit of that red and yellow tone in the Blackmagic. Scrub along and see how it's looking. So in the Blackmagic, I'm going to bring some of the highlights back up again now. Add a little bit of mid-detail to the Sony. I mean, it could be tweaked a little bit, but it's a basic start. There's before. And there's after. I'm pretty happy with it. Let's take a look at them side by side. I mean, in the close-up, his blue is a little bit more saturated. That's an easy fix. But the point of all this is we can do this using the color wheels. We can do this using the curves and just get a basic foundation start to compare the footage so that it's not a glaring difference between the two. The highlights and the shadows are going to be a little bit different when you go from a close-up to a medium shot to a wide shot. So I'm happy with this. And I think it's a really good start. When you're working in Resolve, you always work in nodes, and you add another node for, maybe your first node is your exposure, and your second node is your saturation. I do that, and it makes sense to do that for the work that you're doing, and it's easier to fix things later. But for the sake of this video, I just wanted to walk through setting all the adjustments in one node. The important thing is to use your scopes. Your scopes won't lie. Your monitor, no matter how well it's adjusted, your eyes, no matter how good they are, they're only so good, and using those scopes is important. Using your eyes and your monitor is also important too, to see how things look. Are they looking like they're compared? And taking into consideration what's in frame when you're looking at those scopes so that it doesn't throw you off. So once again, thank you for watching. If you've made it this far, thank you. I really appreciate it. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let me know your thoughts. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much.